So James McGrath gets the ball thrown in, the match gets underway, and it's Clare via Colin Ryan setting up the first attack. Up into the corner here, a little bit of work to do for the backs to try and contend with, and straight away you can see that Paddy Prendergast has gone back into the back line. Kevin Moran's gone to left half as anticipated, and there'll be other switches as well. The referee came a tumble there as he was running backwards, but the man is back on his feet again and play continues. And there's a dangerous moment for the Clare players to contend with, but Pat O'Connor emerges with it. Man from Tower playing it outside, intended there for John Conlon once again. Kevin Moran is appealing. And the linesman on the far side has made his mind up, and it's going to be a line ball to Clare. Alan Kelly over there from Galway, he's in charge of the line.
And
Dara Fives in midfield.
Dara Fives in midfield, yeah. And then also Maurice Shannon going into full forward with a switch with Pádraig Mahoney.
There's Paddy Prendergast, his debut today, helped out there by the other cornerback, Noel Connors, trying to set up an attack for Waterford here, whose last game was some 9 weeks ago in the final round of the... Who picked it off the ground there was Jamie Barron. Just watch it again here. He was cornerback last year in the Under-21 Championship for Waterford. Davy Fitzgerald busy on the sideline already, encouraging, urging, cajoling his team. A lot of pressure on them. They haven't had a championship win in Munster since 2008. Colin Ryan's going to take this. 58 points during the Alliance League this season. Many of them, indeed most of them, from frees. That one's dropping dangerously in there. John Conlon trying to get the stick for him this afternoon in very still conditions. This one looks good. It's gone over the bar. Good start. Well, he really is a tremendous free taker. You remember 12 points he got in a championship match against Tipperary some years ago. Puck out here by Ian O'Regan, known as Iggy. Getting it all the way down towards Seamus Prendergast, who's being marked by Pat Donlan. Coming across to gather here, Colin Galvin. Under pressure, Kevin Moran, very near the sideline, kept in play, just about. It's going to benefit Clare. John Galvin, second time of asking, gets it up there, and the former 21 star hits it and drives it over the bar. Good play by John Conlon. The first point to come from play then comes in the 4th minute. Really fine shot out near the sideline.
Yeah, great score, and that's what he does. You know, he's normally good for 3 or 4 points from playing a game. A bit of a mix-up under a high ball there between Kevin Moran and Paddy Prendergast, and he broke onto it in a great score.
So Clare have made the better start. Now can they win possession in midfield again from that puck out? They can. And once again, it's John Conlon driving it from outside the 45-metre line, and another one's gone over. Well, this is the start that Davy Fitzgerald and his team have been looking for. Waterford have allowed them space. They've been standing back, Waterford. Clare have gone in there with intensity right from the word go.
John Conlon, who is, as I said just at the start, the natural leader of this Clare team.
O'Regan again pucking it out for Waterford. Down towards Seamus Prendergast. He's very much the #1 target. Gets it this time. Donlan's after him. Drives it from the other sideline. Great shot. Oh, it's just gone to the right. The Waterford fans were cheering, but just tailed away right at the very end there. Seamus Prendergast again giving tremendous leadership in a forward line, now lacking the presence of John Molan and 1 or 2 more like Owen Kelly as well, recently retired. That was missed there by Michael Brick Walsh. Might need a second go. Once again, Seamus Prendergast in there, helping out also Pádraig Mahoney. And the referee's going to throw the ball into a little bit of space here, looking for 2 men to line up for duty. 2 number 8s involved here, Colin Galvin and Shane O'Sullivan. Galvin battling, O'Sullivan trying to get it. It's Galvin who emerges, one of last year's under-21s. Won an All-Ireland title here on this pitch against Kilkenny. Beautifully in here. Kelly's available, and that's another one. Tony Kelly's first. Well, great. 4 attacks, Michael.
And 4 scores. Great run there by Colin Galvin. Lovely flick off the hurl into Tony Kelly, flying down. And Clare, a brilliant start on Waterford. Shell-shocked at the moment, and they need a score badly to settle them.
I think this is what an awful lot of Waterford fans coming here were probably worried about. That Clare would get in that level of intensity from the word go, and they might take some stopping. Jamie Nagle. So after that slow start by Waterford, what can they do? Nothing here. And then there's a foul as the wing-back, Pat O'Connor, was trying to take it out. There he is, and coming across was Brian O'Halloran, caught him. Any kind of high challenges like that penalised immediately. And this is going to be taken by Pat Donnellan, the team captain from O'Callaghan's Mills. Looking there for one of the half forwards. Conor McGrath was available, so too was Colin Ryan, but the block was good. They're in there. Defenders' faces immediately. Clare, time and again. Brendan Bugler over there appealing for it,
and you know, Clare, as I said, set out their stall very, very early.
Shannon Murray. This one should favour the full back here. Liam Lawler coming across, opting to link up with Ian O'Regan. Tends to hand pass it quite a bit, Liam Lawler, but has become a very assured number 3 for Waterford. This time it's picked up by Pádraig Mahoney, or Paddy as they call him. All the way down towards Maurice Shanahan. They need a big return from Maurice Shanahan this afternoon, but he's got to get nothing lightly from David McInerney, and the student plays it back as far as Pat Donnellan. Oh, that's not a great clearance. That's a very poor clearance, and it's a chance here for Dillon. Oh, what a goal for Jack Dillon! On his championship debut, exactly what the game has required. 8 minutes are gone. The defenders should have cleared. They never did, and Dillon came in.
Yeah, it was Patrick Donnellan there. I don't know what he was playing at. Went for a little flick out, and great pick up by Jack Dillon in fairness, and a great finish into the corner. But Pat Donnellan, you know, should have cleared that ball long, and he went for a little pass inside the 21-yard line, and it went wrong, and a great goal.
And I think Maurice Shanahan will take some of the credit for the blocking there to make sure that it wasn't possible for Pat Donnellan to get it away. So a lapse by Clare, penalised and punished immediately by Waterford. Now that will settle them down surely. Michael Breck-Walsh, one of the best number 6 we've had in the game over the last 10 to 12 years. Back out it comes once again to another number 6, Pat Donnellan. He'll be shocked by the concession of that goal. Getting away from the attempted block, that's over the sideline, and it'll be a line ball once again to Waterford.
Yeah, Jerry, you mentioned Maurice Shanahan's little flick, and again there he put Pat Donnellan under fierce pressure and forced him to puck it out over the line. And you can see straight away that goal has given Waterford a great boost, and it was badly needed. Huge
boost for Michael Ryan there, who certainly confounded his critics many times since his appointment. Well, first of all, he kept Waterford in Division 1 over the last 2 years, when many people were predicting that they would go down. Then, of course, the Munster final last year. This ball is in there dangerously once again, and there's another chance, and that's once again Jake Dillon. Got on the point for Jake Dillon now, and his marker is going to have to step up to the mark, literally.
Yeah, Donovan went ahead there, and you know, a little bit over anxious, and slipped inside in a lovely finish, and you know, what a finish there, low and hard, impossible to save. And Jake Dillon, a big star at underage level with Dellasalle with Waterford, and a great start for him at a goal and a point.
And I think that Waterford would have known that Donald O'Donovan is the kind of cornerback who tends to stay out in front of his man, commits himself, goes for that ball, tries to get there first, and when it doesn't work out, well, there's a player like Jake Dillon waiting there to pounce. Line ball at the end of all of that, too much protesting. And once again, it's Colin Galvin who tries to emerge with it. That golden helmet on his hand. Dropped back again, however, by Noel Connors for Waterford. Down into the forwards, down towards Dillon against Donald O'Donovan. O'Donovan this time steadier, and the Clonlara man gets it away, not terribly far. Bugler's under pressure. Back once again with Jamie Barron. Turns well, strikes it over his shoulder, looking for Maurice Shanahan. 2 players go for the 1 ball that time. That time it's Seamus Prendergast. 2 Waterford players that was. And out comes Bugler once again. Hand passing it to safety. There as far as Pat Donnellan. Drives it through the centre. Batted back down once again by Jamie Nagle. And the final shot has gone to the right, and it's gone wide.
Dara Fives really loads of time there. You know, 50 yards out, really should have been putting that over the bar. And, you know, a game Clare started so well, now they're gone completely out of it, and it's all Waterford at the moment.
Well, the question of who was going to pick up Tony Kelly, by the way, it's Michael Breck-Walsh. Kelly is playing as a conventional 40 yards man, and Breck-Walsh is following him. And just as I speak, Kelly drops off, and Breck-Walsh goes back to cover his full back line. He'll need to, because Derek Holman's got the ball, and Derek Holman shoots and puts it over the bar. First point for the big man, 6'6" tall, UL student. Big Derek Holman again is going to take some minding.
Yeah, look, I believe he's been very sharp in recent weeks in a couple of challenger matches. Lovely turn there and over the bar.
From the puck out, it's down towards Seamus Prendergast. Couldn't quite get to it this time. Instead, it's mopped up at the back there by Cian Dillon. Tries to get it away. Stymied. Jamie Barron gets it. Plays it back deep. Back here as far as Michael Breck-Walsh. Partially blocked. Dillon goes in again, runs loose this time towards Brian O'Halloran, down on the ground. Emerging with it is Pat O'Connor. Hand passes it out here into the centre as far as Tony Kelly. Kelly got free, Kelly got loose, but Kelly has put the ball wide. Missed opportunity from Liam Lawler in particular. Well, the ball has finally been returned and Ian O'Regan can puck it out. It's interesting, isn't it? Hasn't played a championship match since 2004 in that All-Ireland semi-final against Kilkenny that year.
That he hung around that long and stayed plugging away in fair play to him.
29 years of age now, pucks it out, and the referee saw a bit of a pull, which was not a legit one, and he indicts Shane O'Sullivan. The referee has given a free to Clare, which will be taken by Colin Ryan. It's very, very long, right in the middle of the park now, between the two 65 metres and nearer to the Clare 65-metre line. So Colin Ryan scored from the 65 already, and this one he's put to the left and he's put it wide.
Yeah, and you know, they're fairly straightforward chances. I know it's a long way out there, but for him, he's a great striker of the ball, and the Slitter light these days, you know, no problem with the distance. Tony Kelly a wide before that, and you know, you know, the last 6 or 7 minutes it's been all about Waterford.
Only a point between the teams. Clare still leading. Pressure on. Shane O'Sullivan comes, emerges, turns it backwards this time. Back as far as Paddy Mahoney. Mahoney goes down under the challenge of Brendan Bugler, and it's going to be a free into Waterford. Chance for them to tie up the match here. Paddy Mahoney is an absolutely vital member of that Waterford attack. They're light on inexperience in one or two respects. Certainly the two corner forwards, but Dillon's had a dream start, a goal and a point so far on his debut. Paddy Mahoney's got to be the free taker, 45 metres out. Low enough trajectory, he's missed the opportunity to put it over the bar. Pressure still on there, that should have been put over. Instead it's Pat Donlan who clears it away for Clare. Out into the middle here. Big huge one down towards Conor McGrath. Hasn't managed to get into the game yet, and the linesman on the
and that's a terrible miss really.
And Clare almost make a complete hash of the line ball here. They still haven't managed to get it. They've lost it. Oh, that's terrible. Shane O'Sullivan back out here as far as Seamus Prendergast, and Prendergast puts it between the uprights. First point. Well, there is an example of Clare's inexperience, fumbling with a line ball, giving it away to the Waterford backs, and Seamus Prendergast benefits at the end, and the teams are level.
Yeah, great strike from the middle of the field, and he'd missed one earlier and still had the confidence to take it on, and a great score.
Level for the second time. Again, it is Waterford to emerge with this one, and it's Michael Welch looking to hand pass it back, surrounded there. They weren't going to allow him to do his usual party piece, and Tony Kelly comes out with it, strikes it from 50 metres, going to drop short. O'Regan looks around, can measure his clearance now. Out here looking for Jake Dillon, this time the back. O'Donovan got out first, got the ball away, but only as far as Shane O'Sullivan, blocked out over the sideline. Watches as Colin Ryan hits it in, and they tried to retain possession this time again. They went short to try and retain it. It's all about ball retention and not giving it away easily to the opposition. But once again, from the second line ball that Clare have taken, it's Dara Fives who takes it out for Waterford and puts the pressure back on Clare. Picked up beautifully here by David McInerney. Does really well, the young Tulla man. They're writing a history about Tulla, which will be published next month. I'm sure he'll be part of it. This ball is forward beyond the 65-metre line. And again, the referee saw a foul there, and it's got to be a free to Clare. Paddy Prendergast deemed to have been holding back his man there, and that was Shane O'Donnell, the UCC student. As we watch Colin Ryan, and Colin Ryan makes no mistake this time, his second pointed free. And so it's Clare who go back into the lead here again by 6 points to 1-2. And there is Ray Barry, who's just come in for Waterford, and the player who's been replaced is the number 12, Brian O'Halloran, who didn't make an impression in the game so far. They're not going to hang around Waterford. He may have an injury. Here's Shane O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan hand passes it outside here as far as Paddy Mahoney beats the attempted block, and straight between the posts. Brilliant shot. Makes up for the one that he didn't get from the free earlier on, which was an easier effort in some respects. Little hand pass out as far as him, and showed loads of power and deadly accuracy. Tied up again, 6 points to 1-3.
Yeah, I think maybe in fairness to Brian O'Halloran, he seemed to be limping there when he was coming off, and he was poor, but I'd say definitely an injury there that caused him to go off.
From the puck out, it's Clare who hold on to it with Conor McGrath. Real prodigious talent, this man. Playing it in here looking for a support player, John Galvin. Galvin was battling for it. He chopped down as well, however, and the referee spotted it and has given a free against him. A couple of Clare players protesting, but I don't think there's much doubt about it. Free to Waterford. Goalkeeper was thinking about taking it, but instead it's going to be left there for Michael Brick-Walsh. Hammers it down towards top of the left, where they feel there's a dividend to be gained. Colin Galvin, however, is clearing that for Clare. Into the middle as far as John Galvin. Galvin with two players after him, gets loose. Galvin off his left, blocked, hooked well, brilliantly so. And again, the tenacity of Waterford in evidence, and the experience. Michael Welch. Well, they may have been behind early on in this game, but they've settled to the task now and really relishing the challenge presented by Clare. But that
Conlon got 2 points early. Kevin Moran trying to get into the game, but John Conlon has proven a big handful.
So scoring chances so far, 10 for Clare, just 7 for Waterford. But Waterford making the most of theirs. Once again, Michael Brick-Walsh. He'll take a lot of care with this one. Drives it down towards Maurice Shanahan, operating it full forward. Big tall man, 6'6", breaks down here. Paddy Mahoney got the last point for Waterford. Oh, look at the number of Clare players trying to close him down, and he held on too long because he just couldn't get any leeway. That's tremendous defending by Clare. Right in the face of the full forward this time. No way. They squeezed him for space, almost suffocated him. Free out, taken by Pa Kelly. Dropping 45 metres out from the Waterford goal. Going back is Jamie Nagle. One of those to play in the All-Ireland final when Davy Fitz was their manager. Shane O'Sullivan, big one down towards Shanahan once again, and he catches it this time. And Maurice Shanahan looks up, strikes with ease and puts it over. Great point, big cheer. Yeah, Maurice Shanahan's first.
That's a great score. Jamie Nagle, who's been very steady here at right half back since start. Great ball up, and you know, this was reminiscent of maybe Big Dan, his brother in his day. Great catch and great score off his left side.
1-4 to 6 points. Waterford are leading. Well, they've been behind or level throughout this match so far. 20 minutes in, plenty to enthuse about as Kevin Moran was stripped. Good young minor and 21 teams, when they come to the intensity of the championship on that day, is only then you will know whether they're going to survive or not. Mahoney hits it. It strikes a post on the outside and it's gone wide. So 2 of his frees so far haven't produced anything, and that's 4 wides now for Waterford. Still lead by a point. Pa Kelly once again now, 26-year-old, second season. Playing at this level, into the half forwards. Good leap in the air by Fives, but he's beaten there by Tony Kelly. Clever ball in. Inside towards Darragh Honan, being watched with care by Liam Lawler, and nursing it back out to Michael Brick-Walsh. Cleverness, cuteness and experience there in evidence. Jumping for this one here was Pat O'Connor, breaks away however, and it's Seamus Prendergast who kicks it into the middle as far as Shane O'Sullivan. Nobody marking him. He's able to place this ball down towards Maurice Shanahan once again. McInerney trying to come to the pitch of the challenge there. It breaks out as far as Jamie Barron, and Jamie Barron strikes, but puts it to the right of the post. Still waiting to get his first score in this match on his debut for Waterford. Huge occasion for him.
And Gerald Liam Lawler there again, you know, he's an old school full-back, but what I love about him, he's so calm under pressure. Just let the ball drift in behind him and knew the space was there was no danger, and very, very cool.
Waterford come again, and they're 1-4 in this match, has all come from play. Kevin Moran, head down, determined, dropped in towards Shanahan once more, out ahead of his man, catches it. He's caught 2 great balls now. He's won a free here. He got a point with the last one. Gets a slap on the back there from Jake Dillon to say, well done, big man. Cleverness by Kevin Moran to set it all up initially. And so 23 minutes into the match, Waterford have a chance now of making it 1-5 to 6 points.
Yeah, and that aerial power, Kevin Moran, great catch, good run, and you know, again, Maurice Shanahan, that height advantage inside there, great catch, and he's taken the free himself. And I think Paddy Mahoney, after missing a couple, didn't have the confidence even to take this one. Well,
they're lucky to have free takers. Jake Dillon's also a very accomplished free taker as Morris puts it over the bar. Second point for him. This is his 18th championship match. All going very well so far after a very, very shaky start. He'll be happy. He has great belief in the team. They have a lot of belief in him. Great catch. Shane O'Sullivan again. blocked down this time. Shane O'Morey went after it. It went off a solid swing there.
There was some hit by Seamus Prendergast there.
What is it about Clare and sideline balls today?
Well, this is their tactic against Cork in the league as well. I saw it.
Come back in here, and that's going to drop short for Ian O'Regan.
It's trying to retain possession, Jared. And I think you have to be letting them balls go long.
Comes out to Kevin Moran. Now Moran looks around here, trying to spot where Paddy Mahoney had come to. He was injured last season. Back out as far as Moran again. Doubled on it beautifully. Down towards Shanahan. They're using the space well. He's won another ball here against David McInerney. Hand passes it inside. Prendergast now trying to get some freedom for himself there. Moves in, and the referee blows his whistle and points in the...
He's such an outlet there from now. Play the ball long into him, and Waterford dominate possession.
And Maurice Shanahan's got another chance now, so he's pointed the first one from a free, and he's getting the swing of this. 3 points for Maurice Shanahan so far, and now Waterford have a goal between these teams. Just over 25 minutes are gone.
I think I can only count one ball, Jared, so far that went into the full forward line for Clare. Derek Conan got that and put it over the bar. I think that's the only ball of the game.
It's some 8 minutes now, and 9 minutes indeed since Clare last scored in this match. Got a bit of work to do, because it's the battle-hardened Waterford team with Noel Connors almost throwing that one, getting that ball out as far as Jamie Barron. 65 metres out, about to be hooked there by Colin Galvin, but still got enough on it. In as far as David McInerney, facing a big task in this match. Real baptism of fire for him in his championship debut in Semple Stadium. Line ball's going to be to Waterford far side.
Seamus Prendergast is certainly using his physicality today. He's after a couple of heavy hits.
Conor McGrath standing, waiting and sweeping was Michael Walsh, this time giving it away, however, and there's an opportunity for Pat Donlan to put it back deep inside that one half of the field once again. Derek Honan, point scorer earlier on, this time gets ahead of his man, but this time drags it away and misses the opportunity. Shake of the head, certain look of resignation on his part.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppy hurling, I think, the last few minutes. Michael Walsh, normally so reliable, a couple of balls he just wasted, and the same there, Derek Honan, simple chance, a couple of easy frees being missed.
Won't be too pleased?
A little bit worried, I'd say, yeah. Look, they're nervous looking at sub warming up here as well.
And they're warming up 2 subs at this stage. We've already had one Waterford substitute introduced. Remember, that was Ray Barry who came in place of Brian O'Halloran, who we think has an injury. That's cut in by Shane O'Morey. Balanced beautifully and returned with interest that time by Jamie Nagle. Breaks there for Jamie Barron. Looks over his shoulder. Has a go. Puts it over the bar. That's a nice start to his championship career. Came very, very far out the field there and had the confidence to strike from a good 50 metres out. Great score, 1-7 to 6 points.
That is a great score, Jaron. That's one thing I was going to say. Jamie Barron, he's had a few chances and he's not afraid to have a go.
Peter Duggan has come on, and the player who's gone off is Shane O'Morey. Well, now Murray had a hand injury in the build-up to all of this and clearly wasn't his true self. And unable to do himself justice. So a big chance for Peter Duggan now on his championship debut in here. Big man.
Well, he's a big man and he hit Jamie Nagle fairly hard when he came onto the field there, so it'll be interesting.
And he's caught this one. How about that? Big giant of a substitute catching that one, losing it then. And away comes Michael Walsh, the brick, looking to hand pass it, kick it, anything at all to try and get it away. And finally coming to gather and collect is Seamus Prendergast, now 33 years of age. On along the ground here, in towards Mahoney. Paddy Mahoney diagonally across, over towards the man who got that last, well, the second last point, Jake Dillon. Jake Dillon hits it and misses the opportunity to add to his earlier scores.
That was a great passage to play. What a catch by Peter Duggan. Then he lost it, and you know, great ball by Pádraig Mahoney outside Jack Dillon. There's the catch, and a brilliant catch. But you have to do something with the ball when you come down as well. And a nice bit of action with himself and Jamie Nagle here in front of us. But you know, very bad wide there then by Jake Dillon. He should have really taken on his man. Meanwhile,
it's Shane O'Donnell who came out to try and collect it, but unable to do so. Instead, Jamie Nagle going back, but still having enough composure to be able to clear it away. Pushing the back that time on the part of Brendan Bugler. Free against the man who was a current all-star, and man-bag stuff there with Shane O'Sullivan. The end result will be a free to Waterford, and Waterford, having made a wretched start to this match, lead by 4 with 5 minutes to go to half-time. Referees having words with Jamie Nagle and also with Peter Duggan. Peter Duggan has certainly been using his big physique against opponents since coming on in the last 5 minutes. So after all of that, it's going to be Maurice Shanahan who will hit this free.
He's come a long way out.
He has indeed.
It's a big plus if he can score it.
Well, it's got to suit a player hitting it off his left-hand side, but it is a massive distance out. About 80 to 85 metres from the target. On a calm day, dropped in, dropped wide. So that now is a 7th wide for Waterford. Clare with just 3, but they have, as an attacking force, gone out of the game. Park Kelly's puck out. One Clare need to win. They haven't. Again, it's Dara Fives playing in midfield, wearing number 2. Slips, loses it. Chance for Clare to get the ball forward. Colin Ryan trying to kick it ahead. Anyone will do to John Conlon. Started so prominently. This time it's Bottlebrick Walsh is after him. Can't hook him. And Conlon comes in and strikes it over the bar. It's a point that Clare has needed. And he's now got 3. Well, they hadn't scored since the 17th minute. So they've got a long time without a score. And now it's 1-7 to 7 points.
Yeah, great score. And John Conlon's gone in centre forward actually. And he just ran away from Michael Walsh there. Great score. But again, I think Waterford were disappointed, had possession and didn't use the ball, carrying it into trouble and lost it and ended up over the bar.
Some rustiness evident on the part of both sides. They've been out of competitive action for quite a long time. Waterford only had 5 matches in the league, and that ended quite some time ago for them. And this time it's Maurice Shanahan falling. Cian Dillon trying to almost
he's definitely fouled
force
there.
it backwards.
He's definitely fouled there, and I think that's the second or third one in a row now that I think the player's been fouled in possession and the frees haven't been given.
Well, the free has been given to Clare instead for overholding. Oh, that was interesting defending on the part of Cian Dillon. Got away with it. So this free is going to be taken by Colin Ryan, who's also come a huge distance out, just like Maurice Shanahan did a little while ago. And he is deep inside his own 65-metre line. Up into the air, travelling well, but it's going to drop short. And Ian O'Regan kept cool and calm, but that wasn't such a great clearance. Under pressure immediately, Shane O'Donnell won it back here, out as far as Tony Kelly. And Kelly trying to steer it inside the right-hand upright, but never quite able to measure it as accurately as he was hoping. Well, they got the last point. Now they've got 4 wides as well.
Yeah, Tony Kelly, you know, he's been on the ball a bit. He's young, he's only 19. He maybe could have 3 points on the board. He has 1, scored a couple of wides. But again, I think Ian O'Regan maybe a little bit unlucky, or a bit lucky there to get away. Very casual with the ball, and you know, just the bite has gone out of the game there in the last few minutes. I think it needs another score to just to liven it up.
It'll come back. Seamus Prendergast right in the thick of that with the red helmet. One of those with the red helmet. Runs loose, picked up here and lost by Pat O'Connor. Emerging with it is Donal O'Donovan, slipping the little hand pass outside here as far as John Conlon. Conlon now calmly drives it forward 50 to 60 metres towards Dara Conan, and the hand of Liam Lawler came out there, pushed it away to safety, the safety of Jamie Nagle. Nagle shows trickery. Nicely down here as far as Jamie Barron. Back out it comes again, this time as far as Dara Fives, and Fives trying his luck with the shot, but it's gone away left of the target. Missed opportunity, hasn't scored so far.
Wrong option there, I think, again, but a lovely piece of skill by Jamie Nagle, who's always been a lovely hurler, and he's playing very well there today.
Oh, that was a wretched puck out, which has been seized upon and put over the bar by Kevin Moran. The current All-Star really is up for the fight here. It may have been a hesitant, tentative Waterford we saw in the opening 10 minutes, but now they're full of fire, and they are leading by 1-8 to 7 points.
That's a great score. He came from a long way behind there to take possession and straight over the bar.
Batted down this time by the substitute Peter Duggan, able to get after it himself here. And he's out over the sideline. Linesman on this near side, Anthony Stapleton from Laois. There's a puzzled look on the face of Peter Duggan. Decision has gone against him, however. Michael Ryan was out there with a little bit of encouragement for the man who's going to hit the ball next, and that will be Jamie Nagle, 26-year-old from Dungarvan, played in the county final last year. First time Dungarvan were in that final since 1951. They're attacking once again, and once more it's Jamie Barron, and that one is really miscued. way off the target. This puck out, won by Clare, by Duggan, right into his hand. Chance to slip it forward here, got under the legs initially of Shane O'Donnell. Now he takes off. Paddy Prendergast, another student's after him, 2 UCC men. Back it goes as far as Tony Kelly, another student. And Kelly, with the tightest of angles, measures it beautifully. Might be the last point of the first half, but it's a lovely score by Tony Kelly. Set up for him by Shane O'Donnell, and now there's a goal between them again.
Yeah, that's a lovely score. He's such a natural hurler, Tony Kelly, and well worked up this wing. Again, Peter Duggan won good possession, and that score very, very important, I think, for Clare going in at half-time.
Ian O'Regan, pucking out, might be the last puck out of this first half. The referee is having a look at his watch, allowing play to develop. Galvin goes, doesn't get it. Instead, it's Maurice Shanahan. 3 around him, turned around. It's got to be a free in, and it's a chance now for Waterford to put over the last score of the opening 36 minutes. Maurice Shanahan, full of intent, again causing consternation in there. He's catching so much, and there's a yellow card, and it's been issued to Pat O'Connor. 22-year-old from Tubber, student at CIT, gets the first yellow card of this game.
Yeah, it might be for a little bit of persistent fouling, and he might be unlucky to be the one that got it, you know, because I think that's about 4 times now Dan Shannon has been fouled, and he's become the key figure of the first half, really. Or not Dan, Morris, I should say.
Well, the Shanahan the younger. And that one's gone over. It's 4 points now for Maurice Shanahan. 3 of those.
Live now, we'll be looking back at the first half of Clare versus Waterford in a moment. But first, we have a really
fantastic start. 4 points to no score after 5 minutes. It looked to be all going according to plan. Waterford did get a goal, and all of a sudden they came back in, and like it's been 1-9 to 4 points in the remaining 30 minutes of the first half. So, you know, in fairness to Waterford, they've got a grip on the game. Could actually be further ahead. They've had 9 wides in the first half as well. Some of their shooting was quite erratic. Simple free by Pádraig Mahoney, didn't go over the bar. You know, small little things. So they could actually have a little bit more of a cushion. But I'm sure, like, you know, Clare and Davy Fitz will not be happy in this dressing room at half time after such a good start. They haven't built in it, and now they find themselves with 4 points down and a little bit of a hill to climb.
They do. We're down here on the town end side of the pitch here at Semple Stadium, Cyril, and we're seeing an awful lot more of the action than the folks up there, or the fans up on the Glen end.
Yeah, Clare probably playing it too short, not playing it direct enough anyway, because Waterford, there's a lot of ball coming in. Maurice Shannon, even though his pick number 10 has gone in full forward, caused a lot of trouble. A lot of direct ball coming, and after a while, like, even though they did start well, Waterford, when they got the goal, their midfield and half back line got on top. Very little going into the Clare full forward line. They're only down 4, I suppose. It could be down a lot more, and they're still in the game, but they'll have to play more direct and let the ball do the work more, because as it stands, Waterford are nicely in control of the game.
Let's have a look at that goal by Jake Dillon for Waterford. Back to Ger Canning and to Michael Dignan.
Referee's just checking on his numbers. They're all there, no changes since half-time. And so the stalemate in the centre of the field will result in another throw-in here. I remember Clare playing poorly also in the 2 matches against Cork in the league, including the relegation playoff, and then they came good in the second half in both matches, finished very strongly. Their fans will be hoping something similar happens here. John Conlon started the game well. This time he's lost it to Kevin Moran, and Kevin Moran trying to get the ball away. Conlon's after him, and Conlon's won it, and trying to close the gap to 3 points, blocked down well. And that is Noel Connors trying to get the ball out, and Noel Connors wins a free.
Yeah, that little passage might sum up the game so far. John Conlon won a great ball there and went to tip it along the line one-handed, where he could have driven it in 60-70 yards into the full forward line. And Kevin Moran going backwards with the ball, you know, the tackling is good and all, intensity is good, but, you know, you'd like to see some more first-time hurling, I think, from both teams. And look, 4 points is not much of a lead in hurling. It can change very, very quickly, so Clare are well in this game.
Well, their manager, Davy Fitz, will have had plenty to say, lots of points to make it half-time, but it really is down to the players now to make up the decisions on the field. They've got to do it. No point in looking at the manager. And this time it's gone out over the sideline, and everybody's appealing for a line ball. Anthony Stapleton has made his mind up, and it's going to be a line ball which Clare will take. Man lining up for it is Donal O'Donovan, powerful member of the first Clare team to win that under-21 championship in Croke Park back in 2009. Michael Ryan has had a very good afternoon so far. So O'Donovan cuts it up straight to Brendan Bugler into midfield beyond Kelly. Fumbled there by Duggan, given the chance to Jamie Nagle to pick it up brilliantly. Does it so well. Cleverly forward here to the unmarked Seamus Prendergast. Who's on him? They've left him behind anyway. The hand pass is outside. An opportunity to put this over the bar, and that one has gone wide. So a wasted opportunity. And that was the substitute, Ray Barry from Lismore.
Yeah, Paddy Mahoney, you think at time himself there just to knock it over the bar. I think both teams are overcomplicating it, and the standard of hurling, it's very middling so far.
Jamie Barrett now at right half forward and Ray Barry at right corner forward. Meanwhile, John Conlon rather. Conlon comes. Really good chance here. Dara Conan. Oh, he couldn't reach it. Oh, that is really a tormentor.
Yeah, well, look at it. He didn't carry it really at that stage. It was either go your own or tip it over the bar, and he got caught in no man's land.
Decision making, just letting them down, and the accuracy in the hand pass wasn't there for the man who played in this year's Fitzgibbon Cup
really
final.
should have just knocked it over the bar and got it back to 3 points.
Big huge puck out, which is once again being won by Clare. Peter Duggan tried to solo past Jamie Nagle. That's not clever. Duggan's a very good operator into space here, and it might just work out once again for Waterford as the ball is played back here as far as Paddy Mahoney, and he looks to the first point of the second half. He's put his hands up. He was convinced. Well, there's no technology here available, so we have to depend upon the umpires, and they said wide.
Yeah, just on the angle here I could see it well, and I think it was wide as right, and bad wide again by Paddy Mahoney.
Pat Kelly's puck out for Clare, down there in towards Conor McGrath. Haven't seen anything really of him so far today. Instead it is John Conlon once again blocked out. He's having a frustrating opening 5 minutes to the second half. Line ball, which will be to Clare. They need to remain focused and composed and having that sense of belief that they can still win this game. Colin Ryan, a lot of very, very young players on both teams.
Again, you can see him looking for the short one,
Well, like a golf stroke, plays it across, and who comes across? It's Jamie Nagle. Nagle plays it forward once again, cleverly collected there by Ray Barry. He's on the ground, play continues. Paddy Mahoney one-handed forward for Seamus Prendergast, and the crafty Seamus Prendergast hits it, but it comes off. All kinds of gamesmanship. I'm sure James McGrath's noting these long delays. Now it's Waterford's turn to start wondering who they're going to hit the ball to. Just pocket in, the fans are saying. He does. Gets good purchase on it as well. Everybody was reaching for it. Went over the stick of David McInerney, who didn't make a contact. So a puck out for Clare, awaiting the first score of the second half. All the way down to the centre towards Tony Kelly, but it's won there by Michael Welch. Does well into the hands there of Seamus Prendergast. Takes off once again. 2 men are after him, looking to try and play it back towards Maurice Shanahan. Too tight, too short. In the end, David McInerney emerges with it, kicks it to his left-hand side towards Cian Dillon, and they're just calling on him, the Clare fans, to clear the ball, get it downfield. He does through Colin Galvin. Still in play there. Won once again here by Jamie Nagle. He's been in the thick of the action several times in the opening few minutes of the second half.
And Jamie Nagle has been huge, share so far, his skill level, but really since half-time, the amount of tipping that's going on out here, I've never seen the likes of it for a long time. Everyone wants to run with the ball and hand pass it. The simple thing in hurling is to move that ball. Look at the room inside. There's 80 yards in front of the 2-man full forward line for Clare, and they're not playing the ball in there.
Well, they're all going short with the sideline balls. Peter Duggan hits it long in front of an attendance of over 12,000. Back out it comes again. Michael Brick-Walsh tries to dance his way out of challenge, out of trouble, and the referee at the end says he was being held onto by Conor McGrath. I'm sure Clare fans will probably say that the Brick held on a bit long. Got away with it. Free out instead. Jamie Nagle takes it down into the other square, dangerously in towards Maurice Shanahan. Almost broke there. Shanahan hits it, well blocked out. Good defending here. O'Donovan tries to get it away. Challenge there by Jake Dillon, and it's Donald O'Donovan who got it out as far as Brendan Bogler blocked down. Back again it comes to Shane O'Sullivan. The shoulder comes in here. This is a bit more like it. Inside towards Seamus, inside towards Paddy O'Mahony, inside to Seamus Prendergast. Prendergast looking, striking and putting it wide. After all of that, it needed a score just to settle down this second half.
Yeah, we haven't had a score in the second half, and a great bit of work there, as you say. Shane O'Sullivan did brilliantly. Great ball in by Paddy Mahoney, and Seamus Prendergast, easier to score than to hit it wide.
Batted back out again, and once again the defenders take it, and once more it's Michael Welch. Back up towards Ray Barry. He was defended by Cian Dillon, and Dillon takes off here, plays it down, looking for Duggan. The referee says foul there by Peter Duggan, the substitute. Free out to Waterford. This is when it was coming down here. There was a hand around the shoulder there of the aforementioned Jamie Nagle by Duggan. Free out which Nagle's going to take. It's been busy. Huge one. Good penetrating ball forward here. Defended once again in numbers. Donlan struggling to get it up. His first touch wasn't great, nor his second. He's in trouble, and it's Shanahan who's got it. Looking around to try and locate a colleague here. Not easy. Lots and lots of Clare backs there. Colin Galvin gets it out as far as Tony Kelly, and Kelly now ready to take off. Past the brick and past everybody else. Kevin Moran's after him. Kelly's got it still. Be a great point. Oh, what about that? Lovely bit of skill by Tony Kelly to excite the crowd. Both sets of fans applauding that one. That was a beauty.
Yeah, that's a great score. He picked it up in his own half of the field, and sensed the tackle coming there from Kevin Moran. Great experience and a great score after Hurling. That the second half needs. You can hear the cheer going up from the crowd.
It's lifted the crowd. Puck out towards Paddy Mahoney, over the head there of Pat Donlan, just as well that Brendan Bugler was sweeping up behind him, kept his eye on it, out as far as John Conlon. It's had a frustrating time in the second phase so far. Conor McGrath's chasing after it, but Jamie Nagle's got to get there first, slips it inside beautifully. Connor's after it, left it there however. One back, this time by Peter Duggan. Goes short, too short. Nagle gets the stick in, taken up instead here by Dara Fives. Fives clears it to midfield. Another scramble for possession here, 65 metres from that Clare goal. Pat Donlan back, trying to get away there from the attentions of Jake Dillon. In as far as Kelly once again, real class act down there towards Shane O'Donnell. O'Donnell trying to get possession here, and that's not been easy this afternoon against Paddy Prendergast. They've been starved of possession, that inside forward line, but this time he's won a ball here, and
a great ball in there into the full forward line, and Shane O'Donnell dragged down.
As we watch Colin Ryan take the easy enough task of putting it over the bar, so he's got 3 points, all of them from frees. One of them was 65, the very first, so now there are 2 points between them.
Yeah, and Clare with all the I think they've all the driving forward at the moment, and Waterford had a couple of good chances after half time. All the momentum with Clare now, and Waterford again, like in the first half, need to score badly to settle them for the second half.
Well, they've now gone 10 minutes, Michael, without a score in the second half. They went 8 minutes in the first half when they got that goal from Jake Dillon. That was their first score. Back on Waterford again. Fives swinging it across over this near side. Ray Barry couldn't hold on to it. Instead, it's Cian Dillon trying to get it away, helped out by Brendan Bugler. Downfield towards Conor McGrath, breaks it, but only for a Waterford man to get onto quickly. Shane O'Sullivan then in next. Tony Kelly trying to roll it up onto his stick, but it comes back to O'Sullivan again, looking for an easy option to lay it back to, and Michael Brick-Walsh is the one he chooses. Hand passed outside to Kevin Moran, says a dummy. Oh, he's been fouled there by Colin Galvin, who will plead his...
I know it was accidental, but to me it's still a chop down and no yellow card. I think it's surprising there.
Well, he pleaded his innocence. Colin Galvin got away with it. Shanahan now. Waterford need this, and Shanahan provides it. He got the last point of the first half, and now he's got the first one for Waterford. Start of the second here. Well, 11 and a half minutes in. 5 points for Shanahan. The puck out's quickly taken. Kelly again. Turns around 180 degrees, swings it in there towards Dara Conan, bounces off him, bounces off Paddy Prendergast as well, but Prendergast has enough time to get it under control and clear. Big one down towards Paddy Mahoney, taken well in the air however by Brendan Bugler, big tall athletic figure, into Kelly again, impishly trying to carry it in, but carries it into the challenge. Not a fair shoulder-to-shoulder tackle, the referee has decided. Kelly gets a clap on the back there from a colleague, and in the end, after that foul by Kevin Moran, it's got to be a free to Clare. Colin Ryan will take it. 3 points so far in the match for Colin Ryan. He's already scored during the second half, so now once again a chance to put 2 between the teams. From 50 metres out, straight as you could wish, over the bar. On a lovely still afternoon, beautiful day for playing any kind of sport. And now it's 110 to 11 points. Waterford's puck out, aimed towards Dara Five, surrounded by Clare players. One of them is Colin Galvin. Gets away, left-handed down to a 2-man inside forward line beyond Shane O'Donnell, who really hasn't got into this match so far in any kind of meaningful way. And Dara Conan, who's got just 1 point. That's given away badly. Poor distribution, pressure right back on the Waterford backs once again.
Yeah, I think Clare will be happy enough there, as you said earlier. They really are a second half team. Their fitness levels will come into play. They're very young, mobile, and But like really the game, you're waiting for a ball to break inside, maybe that two-man full forward line, they'll break onto one and maybe end up in the back of the net. But very, very poor hurling, I'd have to say, in the second half so far.
From this puck out, which is taken by puck in by Colin Ryan, the referee has seen a foul in there. Well, the vigilant referee spotted it, and Colin Ryan has made the most of it. All of his points have come from place balls, but now it's 110 or 13 points to Clare's 12. 3 points by Clare in the second half. This is once again taken by Kevin Moran. Beautiful one down here, almost broken for Jamie Barron, didn't quite come for him. Right in the thick of it, and once more the referee called on to blow, and this time he has indicted Seamus Prendergast, who's now gone to full forward, it would appear, in on David McInerney, and it's got to be a free for Clare.
Yeah, this is one where you can't, if you're dropping the ball and you watch Seamus, he moves his body there.
From that free, which is...
But it is a free if you've blocked the ball.
Kelly who took it, and again the referee has seen pushing inside, and it's another free against the Waterford backs. Watch it again here, Duggan and Nagel, and the referee gives the free against Jamie Nagel and Waterford. So here's got to be the equaliser.
I'm not sure, was it that clash the free was for, because I didn't see any free there. There might have been somebody else off the ball. Draw match now.
As Colin Ryan gets his 6th, and it's Waterford now level with Clare. Clare 13 points, Waterford 110. So the team's level for the 4th time. Waterford have got just 1 point in the second half. In the second half so far. Clare come back again, but they lose it this time. Onto it came Dara Fives. Fives was going through, and the referee has blown his whistle and frustrated everybody. Well, he is just wondering, why didn't you let me through? The referee had blown, there was no advantage. James McGrath deciding going to accrue. Away he went, he was still going. The referee had blown his whistle, however, and we'll never know what he might have done with it. Instead, it's got to be a free in for Maurice Shanahan.
I think Waterford will be happy enough because, as you said, they've only scored 1 point. They're struggling big time all over the field. I think Brendan Bugler in particular in the Clare half back line has really come into the game winning a huge amount of possession.
5-1 in the score for the second half so far in Clare's favour. Just to make it 5-2. Maurice Shanahan, easy enough. So the free takers with 6 points so far, but Maurice did get one from play as well. One beauty, his first. 111 to 13 points. Quick puck out down towards Duggan, didn't get to it. It gets to Conor McGrath instead. This is a very talented player who's been very closely watched so far by Noel Connors, and Noel Connors forces him out, but it went off the Waterford stick, it would appear. It's got to be a Clare ball. Tony Kelly reporting for duty, ready to take it. Connors a former All-Star, of course. And it's Colin Ryan who decides he's got to take it. Swings it in this time, beyond Duggan, on towards Dara Conan. Makes an angle for himself. He's a very talented young player. Dara Conan's got a second. Capable of anything. Only goal he scored in his career was against Waterford. He was in this fixture in Thurles 3 years ago on his debut. Lovely point.
Great score again off a line ball. Colin Ryan again looking for the short one, and that time down the wing. One possession and a great score for Hornan off his left hand side.
So 14 points to 111. Teams level yet again. And this time it's Clare who have it, and Pat Donnellan slipping it outside to Kelly. Always a potential match winner. Now that's audacious, it's a huge one, but it's not going to work in his favour. Well, he was really expecting an awful lot, but I suppose a young fella like him, no fear whatsoever, he's prepared to have a go, and he's got the talent to match up with it. Number wide so far, 13-6. Waterford the more guilty. From this puck out, it's targeted towards Shane O'Sullivan. He didn't manage to get it, however, as Colin Ryan stuck his stick up first, got there first into Conor McGrath, back towards Ryan again. The Newmarket player's off. O'Sullivan's after him. Walsh is coming across, drags him down in the large square, I would have thought. Now, what's James McGrath going to do? I think it's going to be a conventional free, it would appear. Is there going to be a card issued? Because that was pretty cynical. It's a great run. Just going to get a 20-metre free for their troubles. Some run.
Well, interesting, Tony Kelly has taken it. Normally go for a goal from here because Colin Ryan is the normal free taker.
Does he need to this early? So many players back. But he has taken over the responsibility, as you say, Michael. Here he comes. He's having a go, and it's been stymied and knocked out. And it's been taken there by Kevin Moran. And they've... Oh, it's back in! They've got something out of it. Shane O'Donnell. Amazing. 114-2, 111. Well, that's stunning. Let's have a look at this again.
Kevin Moran picks it up here and goes across the square. You can see him getting blocked down here. He went to clear it. Great block down there by Peter Duggan, and Shane O'Donnell first time into the net.
That is quite amazing. Coming as it does in the 55th minute, and Shane O'Donnell is coming off and being replaced by Podge Collins. He's just scored the goal that might well seal the match for Clare.
Reminiscent of Eamon Taff, you might remember in 1995
I certainly do.
Against ourselves.
So Podge Collins is in, and suddenly it's Clare. How games can change in a twinkle. Once again, Darragh Conan down there to try and cause some problems for Liam Lawler.
But you'd have to say, Joe, you know, that I think Davey not happy there, I think, with James McGrath about something there. He's irate, but you'd have to say Clare have taken over since half-time. They've been all over Waterford, and, you know, again, we've seen a lot of blocking during the game, but great. Here's Tony Kelly. Good shot, great save. And Kevin Moore did fierce well here. And Peter Duggan steps in there, used a long reach, and a great first-time pull by Shane O'Donnell. And, you know, a young player who's only 18 years of age.
Well,
probably delighted with himself there, and say, I'm going to finish strong, gets taken off straight away.
Made his day. So we've got Gavin O'Brien who's come on in place of Jamie Barron, and now Waterford have an awful lot to do in the final quarter of this game, with 15 minutes remaining if they are to make progress as they have in the past towards the Munster Championship of 2013. That's gone away to the left, and that's one wide. Aiming for a 5th Munster final in a row, Waterford would be this year. The semi-final coming up next. Cork are lurking and waiting for the winners of this in the semi-final. There's Gavin O'Brien, played last year.
Waterford 2 points, I think, from Freeze since half-time. You know, at this level, nowhere near good enough, and they've completely gone out of the game. I think it looked like they thought they had won at half-time and stopped hurling.
Very dangerous thing to believe. Colm Galvin after it. One back here by Michael Welch. Gets away from Peter Duggan. Awkwardly takes him down. Their ideas together quickly. And seriously take on Clare for the remaining quarter of an hour of this match. Otherwise they'll be facing into the qualifiers. Gavin O'Brien, can he make a difference? In there as well when Paddy Mahoney. Gavin O'Mahony hands pass it back. O'Brien rather. And that's back in by Shane O'Sullivan, and that one has gone to the right. And another one has gone astray for Waterford. That is 15 wides now for Waterford. That's a huge amount.
It's a huge statistic, but you'd have to say, in fairness to Clare, a lot of them is down to the pressure from the Clare backs. You know, they've really, you know, there might have been 2 or 3 very bad wides, but outside of that, they're under a lot of pressure every time they're striking.
Game of fluctuating fortunes, but in the second half it has been Clare, even though the goal that Michael Ryan's team has conceded was a strange one in that they probably thought they had defended it well. Wasn't to be. And young Shane O'Donnell, who's only 18, by the way, the goal scorer, has made quite a difference in as far as Darragh Conan. And the big giant takes off again. His dad was a great player. This guy is a really talented fellow as well. 3 points from Darragh Conan, the 23-year-old playing in his 7th championship match.
Yeah, he seems to be, you know, shaking off the injury problems he had. That was a really good goal chance in the end, and that's 3 great points from play from Darragh now.
Well, don't forget that we'll have the Sunday game tonight as per usual at 9:30 with Des Cahill. Loads and loads of action in that. Not to be missed. That's down towards Darragh Conan into the corner here, having a little battle there with his marker, who is Liam Lawler. Waiting for it to come out, and it did come out eventually to Podge Collins, man who wasn't in the team from the beginning, although programmed to start. A couple of bodies falling on the ground as it comes out to Brick Walsh. Now it's up to Waterford, who are 4 points adrift to try and get the next score and keep themselves in this game. Not if Donal O'Donovan has his way. He's left it behind. Maurice Shanahan commits himself fully and completely. In there, trying to win possession, helped out by Shane O'Sullivan, trying to shrug loose from the attentions of Cian Dillon. One back again by Dillon, and the referee's blown his whistle, and it's got to be a free in for Waterford. Chance for them to get the next score. They need it. Well, it was rough, tough-looking stuff in there. The referee has decided it's got to be a free to Waterford, and it's going to be Maurice Shanahan who will take it. They missed a couple of frees earlier on in this match, you may remember, through Paudie Mahoney, who's only got a point in the game from play. Maurice Shanahan has contributed 6. Now this next one will mean there'll be a goal between the teams. It's still anybody's match with over 10 minutes still to play. An important free now from 45 metres out on a largely windless afternoon in County Tipperary. Start of the Munster Championship. Shanahan hits, Shanahan scores. So it's 115 to 112.
Maurice Shanahan seems to be limping as well there fairly heavily, and you know, maybe with a few lads not here today, John Milan, chief among them, he's out in Spain watching it, I think, and he's probably up to 90 at the moment. But you know, I think that the few options, Stephen Malumphey missing, Stephen Daniels missing, Shane Walsh is an option I suppose on the bench, but you know, their strength and depth has been severely tested.
Well, we're 25, nearly 26 minutes into the second half. Clare have scored 1-7 so far in this half. Waterford have scored only 3 points. They were ahead by 4 at half-time. It's some turnaround no matter how you look at it. That great depth of resolve and character has been shown by Clare in the second half. Plenty of youthful exuberance at the very beginning, but then they were knocked back in their strides by the experience of Waterford and class as well in key areas. But Waterford haven't been able to sustain it. Clare have that added fitness levels. And now they're looking for more. Pouring that ball in there. This time it's McGrath, and he's finished. Conor McGrath. Second ever championship goal for him. 61 minutes are gone, and finally he strikes and makes it 215 to 112. And with 6 between them and 9 minutes left, that you would feel should be that.
Absolutely, George. Great corner forward play by McGrath. He watched the break, followed in, picked it up, and made it look very, very simple. And as you said earlier, Noel Connors really has been well on top of him all day, but he never panicked. Davy Fitz never panicked, left him there, and that's what he's able to do. He's a very, very good corner forward. Well,
he scored 1-6 on his debut against Tipperary 2 years ago, McGrath. Nothing so far today, but then he came good, and Gavin O'Brien has this one and taps it over the bar. It's one back. They will keep on fighting, but they have a lot to do. 215 to 113. Remember, the last 2 meetings has been Waterford who emerged victorious. Last time Clare won was 2008, and this was Conor McGrath, and that was Ian O'Regan beaten once again. Picking it up here, Tony Kelly, swiftly in. Such an elusive player, beautiful, stylish striker of the ball. Has that lovely, fluent style about him, and only 19 years of age, and 216 now for Clare, 113 for Waterford. Yeah, he's a huge talent, probably one of the most exciting players to come on the scene in many, many years. 4 points from play already, and had 2 or 3 more good chances normally that he put away, so he could have 6 or 7 points on the board, and it's only better he's going to get a super player. And remember today he's on Michael Walsh, best centre back in Ireland probably for the last 10 years. Martin O'Neill's come on, going off Paudie Mahoney. Taking off here, Jake Dillon. It's a long time since he got his goal and a point, and he's got another score. Not half bad for your debut. A goal that settled Waterford down, and they're battling on strongly, and once again it's a 5-point match. Yeah, but Clare beginning to get a lot of room up there, Jaron. You know, wouldn't be surprised to see them breaking in maybe for another goal before the end. Well, it's at that stage, I guess, as we see an injury to Jamie Nagle. It's at that stage where you have to take risks. Delivering the ball, their half-back line took over completely. Particularly Brendan Bugler moved in at centre-back there for the last 20 minutes, and he's been outstanding in the second half, and just moving the ball in, and their forward line look very, very sharp, and they're getting fast ball. Michael Welch gets it out as far as Shane O'Sullivan. Huge one down towards Maurice Fitzgerald, tries to break it down to anybody who will come and collect, but he was fouled. They will protest, but protesting in vain. And it's going to be a free-in once again, so there's an opportunity once more to get it within 4 points, and if Waterford could get themselves a goal, you never know. Shake of the head by Donald O'Donovan, the 25-year-old from Clonlara, playing in just his 4th championship match. But if it's a winner in the Munster Championship, it'll be a first for him, for Clare, for quite some time. Maurice Shanahan has got 7 points in the game, so he's fumbled, hits it quickly now, strikes it, and just might work out. Oh dear, Seamus Prendergast has put it over the bar and not under. And all of a sudden there was that goal chance. It was reminiscent of the first goal that Waterford got in some respects, from a free. It wasn't what they intended, but they very nearly got something more out of it.
They did, and really Seamus Prendergast did everything right. He went to his left, and next thing he's ready to put it in the roof of the net over the bar, and